The Chicago Sky fired their head coach, Teresa Weatherspoon, a move that had my entire timeline saying, what the heck?
The Chicago Sky locker room was in disarray, with players huddled around, some crying, some in shock, and some secretly delighting Teresa. After a single turbulent season, Weatherspoon's head coach was fired. As the dust settled, questions arose about whether this was a necessary change or a knee-jerk reaction. The answer is found in a tale of unfulfilled potential, player tensions, a lot of stat padding, and a shocking statistic on player safety. That shook the WNBA as we go into Weatherspoon's journey from WNBA legend to contentious coach, reveal the reasons for this startling dismissal, and examine the purported rift between Weatherspoon and her players and how it might have gone wrong. The Sky's season, but a startling WNBA statistic concerning Caitlin Clark will provide fresh insight.
Relationship that she built with Angel Reese and with Camila Cardoso, to have your two young stars vocally bought into you as the coach and then to move on from you without even giving you more than one single season to try to get it right, it just doesn't sit well with me.
The repercussions of this firing could affect the entire league. What does it mean for rising stars like Camila Cardoso and Chindi Carter? And yes, even Angel Reese might feel the aftershocks. The Chicago Sky's future is at stake, and before we delve into the details, please remember to subscribe to the channel. Are you ready? Let's get started.
A lot of people, when you're going through a lot of things, just kind of throw the towel in. That's not something this team did. We played hard all the time.
We go back to a period when Teresa Weatherspoon was the WNBA's sweetheart, which led to such a spectacular fall, as the Sky's future hangs in the balance. Teresa Weatherspoon's journey from WNBA star to coaching scandal is a story of great expectations and unrealized potential throughout her playing career. According to Grace, the explanation rests in a perfect storm of events that turned a revered legend into a contentious figure in just one season. Weatherspoon, a five-time WNBA champion, was a formidable player. Her half-court buzzer beater in the 1999 playoffs is still regarded as one of the most memorable moments in league history. She was an All-Star and two-time Defensive Player of the Year, leading the New York Liberty to 4 WNBA Finals trips.
You got people that's steady bashing you that's supposed to be our supporters. I feel like that was a little slap in the face, and that was hard to kind of deal with, but it was really disgusting.
After gaining experience as a player development coach for the New Orleans Pelicans, Weatherspoon was hired as the head coach of the Chicago Sky in October 2023. This move excited Chicago fans and players alike, who hoped that Weatherspoon's winning mentality would propel the team to new heights. However, the reality of Weatherspoon's first season with the Sky was far from the fairy tale many had envisioned. The team faced significant challenges from the outset, including injuries to key players, including promising freshman Camila Cardoso. And Angel Reese, in the end, made it more difficult for Weatherspoon to create a cohesive team, but despite these challenges, there were hints of promise. Weatherspoon's emphasis on player development produced some favorable outcomes, especially with young throughout the season. Players like Cardoso, the first center, displayed flashes of brilliance that suggested a bright future for the Sky front court. However, as the season went on, cracks started to show in the team's foundation. The Sky record collapsed, finishing at a disappointing 13 wins and 27 losses, 5 games worse than 2023, and missing the playoffs for the first time since 2018. This significant decline raised concerns about Spoon's ability to translate her on-court success to the coaching.
They've got to go the length of the floor. Teresa Weatherspoon.
And when I let it go, I watched that ball go, which it took like 30 minutes.
I looked up at the ball and I'm like, whoa, that looks like it's going to go in.
The shot went up. I was standing under the basket and I said, you know what, that looks like it's going in.
At the buzzer, a three. Oh, she put it in. She put it in. And the Liberty win game 2.
The team's offensive rhythm was further disrupted by the mid-season trade of Marina Mabrey, a reliable three-point threat and strong defender. Although May never really disclosed her motivation, it is possible that she saw early on the chaos in the Sky locker room and hinted that she wanted to compete for a championship with veterans. Without Mabrey's outside shooting, the Sky struggled to space the floor effectively, resulting in a disjointed offensive approach that frequently prioritized individual performances over team success. Stat padding, anyone? As the losses increased, rumors of a growing rift between Weatherspoon and her players started to distribute exit interviews, which showed a team in disarray, with some players voicing unhappiness over tactical choices and communication problems. The once promising collaboration between the Chicago Sky and the WNBA legend appeared to have fallen apart in record time.
You want to take advantage of time. And if you have the opportunity to come together, you want to take advantage of that, especially when you're young, especially when you're a young team and you want to keep kind of gain a little bit more chemistry, a little more continuity, a little more cohesiveness, a little more understanding of one another. It's big to take advantage of that time. And possibly that could be something that now will be, you'll see a lot more of it, which is big. It'll be huge.
As the season progressed, Weatherspoon's limited head coaching experience became more apparent. Her 6 years at Louisiana Tech and her time as a development coach had not fully prepared her for the complex dynamics of leading a professional team through adversity. The Sky roster, which had undergone significant changes since their 2021 championship run, required a delicate balance of veteran leadership and player development, which proved difficult to navigate. If you've made it this far and are enjoying the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on all of your time.
Much about coaching is managing personalities, and the toughest personalities I think to manage would be those that run.
Weatherspoon's coaching difficulties continued as the season went on. An unexpected trend surfaced that went beyond roster management. Although Chicago's players were recording career-high numbers, the team's victory total remained unchanged. Was there a hidden price for these individual accomplishments? The Chicago Sky 2023 to 2024 season was a study in contrasts. On the one hand, a number of players had breakthrough performances and set personal records. On the other hand, the team's overall performance collapsed, finishing with a disappointing 13-27 record and missing the playoffs for the first time since 2018. This stark discrepancy sparked questions about Weatherspoon's coaching priorities.
This is the very definition of stat padding. You are down by 22 points. You've got the Fever's bench player, bench player, bench player, bench player, bench player. Playing against bench player, bench player, bench player, bench player, starter, just so that she can get her double-double.
Rookie in a single season is going for it. Timberlane off the cross pass. It is good. 23 double-doubles on the season. Another rookie record for Reese.
The development of important players under Weatherspoon's direction was at the center of this issue. With an average of 13 rebounds, Angel Reese became the league's top rebounder. The most rebounds per game in league history is one. Camila Cardoso, another rookie, showed flashes of brilliance during the season, signaling a promising future for the Sky frontcourt. Probably the most drastic shift came from Chindi Carter. After taking a year out from the league, Carter emerged as a major offensive danger, scoring 17.5 points per game. Her comeback under Weatherspoon's guidance was indisputable. But it also prompted questions about the balance between individual success and team cohesion. The most reliable three-point shooter in the Sky, Marina Ma, was traded in the middle of the season, which further complicated things. After following May's departure, the team's record plummeted. This dramatic change revealed the weakness of the Sky offensive strategy and emphasized the value of team chemistry over individual stats. Later in the season, game footage showed a team that frequently appeared disorganized on the court. Possessions frequently ended with isolation plays or forced shots rather than fluid ball movement and coordinated team efforts. The emphasis on individual accomplishments seemed to come at a cost, as exit interviews revealed a growing disconnect between Weatherspoon and her players. Some expressed frustration over communication issues and tactical decisions that seemed to prioritize personal stats over team success. The once promising partnership between the WNBA legend and her squad had unraveled, leaving a trail of impressive box scores but disappointing team results. Here's Cardoso expressing her frustration after one of those games.
Honestly, don't have an answer for you, but this was embarrassing, so I really hope we figure out what was wrong and go back to the court tomorrow, practice, or do whatever you got to do and fix it for our next road.
Although it's important to recognize the individual progress made under Weatherspoon's leadership, the stat padding dilemma affected team morale and unity off the court, as some players' numbers skyrocketed while others saw their roles diminish, creating an environment of competition rather than cooperation. This internal conflict manifested in inconsistent performances and an inability to close out tight games, a hallmark of cohesive teams. Weatherspoon was fired after just one season because the Sky front management eventually determined that the trade-off between individual recognition and team performance was too steep.
Third 30-point game of the season. And an enemy territory gets this kind of salute as she exits the game.
As Caitlin Clark lit up scoreboards across the league, she unintentionally became the target of a dangerous trend that was developing in Chicago. The Indiana Fever superstar was smashing records left and right, including 62 during her debut season. However, her historic campaign revealed a troubling undercurrent within the WNBA. 177% of flagrant fouls in the WNBA were committed against Clark, and 80% of those came from a single team, the Chicago Sky. This statistic raised serious concerns about player safety and Teresa Weatherspoon's leadership at the time. The game footage from games between Indiana and Chicago showed a pattern of aggressive play that frequently crossed the line into dangerous territory. The June 1st game between the Indiana Fever and Chicago Sky set the stage for a series of contentious encounters during an inbound play when Chindy Carter of the Sky committed a hard fall on Caitlin Clark. Clark's style of play was characterized by relentless hustle, pinpoint passing, and jaw-dropping long-range shooting. Her clean, skillful approach to the game.
Kennedy Carter now with 12 points off the bench.
The forceful action caused controversy, but what came next generated much more discussion. Angel Reese, observing from the bench, was recorded on tape cheering an apparent approval of the violent play against her old collegiate foil. The June 16th clash further enhanced the scrutiny in a key time. Reese attempted to block a shot by Clark, but ended up smacking her in the head.
Clark! Hammer!
After reviewing the incident, referees elevated it to a flagrant foul, highlighting the seriousness of the contact. Reese justified her conduct, calling it a basketball play and stressing her intention to go for the ball. Let's watch the video and make your own judgment.
I believe Angel Reese. Yep, across the head, and they will go to the monitor.
After 23 points, 9 assists, and 8 rebounds from Clark, Indiana easily defeated Chicago 91-83 once more. 2 more flagrants occurred in a subsequent game against the Sky. The frequency of these fouls against Clark raised questions throughout the league about why Chicago was accountable for such a disproportionate number of flagrant fouls against one player, and more significantly, as a former Defensive Player of the Year, Weatherspoon was no stranger to physical play, but the distinction between tough defense and dangerous aggression seemed to blur under her watch. Why wasn't Weatherspoon addressing this behavior? Expressed concerns about her capacity to enforce discipline and strike a balance between player safety and competitive play. Styles between Weatherspoon and Clark's Fever. While Clark charmed people with her talent and grace, Sky seemed to rely more and more on brawn and intimidation. Sky couldn't have been more stark. This approach not only put players at risk, but also degraded the team's reputation and potentially alienated spectators who came to witness high-level basketball. Rough house tactics additionally, since Clark is the face of a new generation of WNBA players, targeting him might have far-reaching consequences. Any injury to Clark brought on by playing too aggressively might deal the fact that these risky plays were mostly coming from one team under Weatherspoon's direction was a warning sign that couldn't be disregarded and dealt serious harm to the league's marketability and expansion potential. The inability to control Weatherspoon's team's on-court behavior may have been the last straw for the Sky organization, which was under increasing pressure from fans, the media, and possibly the league itself to take action to address these concerns. This safety controversy probably played a significant role in the decision to fire Weatherspoon, even though her team's poor record and alleged disconnect with players were certainly factors.
Then Chicago Sky fired coach Teresa Weatherspoon less than a year after her hire. This is a shot in the heart of this organization.
The team's 13-27 record and missed playoffs were only the tip of the iceberg behind Teresa Witherspoon's dismissal from the Chicago Sky, which was the result of a perfect storm of poor performance, player disconnect, and safety issues. The sacking sent shockwaves around the league, with Angel Reese voicing her dismay on social media. Exit interviews indicated a developing rift between coach and players, with communication breakdowns and tactical differences taking center stage. As the dust settles, the organization finds itself at a crossroads that it must now weigh. "I came to Chicago because of you," Reese said, highlighting Witherspoon's importance to her career. This reaction underscores the complicated dynamics at play and the possible issues the Sky have in keeping talent. The necessity for a new beginning, and the desire to improve on the individual development of players like Carter and Cardoso. The next coach will have to walk a tightrope between encouraging team success and personal progress. What more changes do to ensure that you never miss anything? Please let us know in the comments section by subscribing and turning on all notifications. Then, click the video on the screen, and we'll see you in the next one.